Hello me dears, and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls 3, and welcome back to Archdragon Peak, that may or may not be a real place. It's hard to tell. It's very metaphysical, this area. Very, very metaphysical indeed. In the sense that our character doesn't seem to be physically here. They entered the area in a trance. Sort of almost like projected themselves into it. So it may or may not be a real space. In Dark Souls, particularly Dark Souls 3, those kinds of distinctions don't really mean a great deal, to be honest. Okay, this, scaling the peak, fucking hard. Largely because of these bastards. There are lots of the big dudes. In fact, there are 3 altogether, and they are bastards. And I mean, they are unfathomable, unconscionable bastards. They're very tough, very difficult to get a sort of a bead on, like a lot of the enemies in Dark Souls 3. They're rather difficult to get a feeling for. There are ways, however, of janking these guys, which I really rather like, which I might use. They do get caught on the scenery quite easily and behind railings. So there's that. That's good. Ah, problem is he can use the same tricks as me. So if I can hit him, he can hit me. Which is no good thing. Ah! Oh, I can't get up quick enough. Fuck. Huh! There, that did it. Oh, fuck. Flame, fire, no! Also, these guys have incredible stamina. They're very difficult to stagger or anything like that. It's possible, but it's very bloody hard. Well, there's one done. Unfortunately, one of the other 2 has a, oh, fuck, there's one of the other 2. And also the little ones have turned up as well. How glorious. Now, there is a specific order to doing some of this stuff. I just can't remember what it is. There's that bloody kick again. Not that I'm bitter about the kick mechanic or anything like that. Oh, the 2 big ones have come down at once. That's not good. Holy shit. Well, that's just evil, isn't it? Oh. Oh, there's the big bell. That's what caused the storm. Eventually. Which is why we need to do this first. Because all of this will be obliterated. Jesus, this is difficult. Okay, here comes another one of the big guys again. Oh, please tell me those 2 have got caught on one another and blocked up the door. Please, God, tell me that. Shit! No, they haven't. Shit! Run! And now I can't see where I'm going. That makes things enormous fun, doesn't it? I'm hoping he can't get through the gate, but I have a horrible feeling he will be able to. And that will fuck me completely, because I can't fight them here. Definitely not. There's that fucking kick again! I will never stop going on about that, I'm afraid, ladies and gents. I just won't, because it's so fucking annoying. As is the fact that I can't get up before I die. Hello my dears, and welcome back. Welcome to Archdragon Peak, one of the nastiest areas in this entire game. It's very tough. It's very, very bloody tough. This last segment... Hello you! Beautiful creature that you are, and very, very dead now. I'm sort of sad to say. This last area of Archdragon Peak is a nightmare. It really is. Right. I'm wondering, do I want to do this now? I don't think I do. Once you've summoned the storm, it obliterates part of this level, and that makes it very tough. In fact, what I might do... Well, there was a summoning sign here, but there isn't anymore. Ah, that's annoying. Do I need to be embered? How very strange. There is a weird little summoning sign here then. Weird. Very, very peculiar. Ah, right. Okay. So that's where I was when I died earlier. It will obliterate this entire area once I've summoned the storm that the boss is part of. So we can't really do this. We can't do the boss first unless we want to lose out on an entire section of the area, which I don't want to do, ideally. The problem is that this area is tough as balls, and I keep dying in it. And that's a sincere problem, I can tell you. Oh, fucking hell. Come on. Really? There's that... there's that fucking kick again. I am getting sick of that, I can tell you. I'm also getting sick of not being able to get up quick enough. But more than anything, I'm getting sick of that kick. It's breaking my combos way too much and costing me runs, which is rather annoying. The reason I died the last time is because of that bloody kick. I don't know why they switched it. There is a kick in Dark Souls 2 and 1 as well, and it's nowhere near as easy to activate as this one is. I've no idea why they changed it. I really don't. Now, the reason this area is so hard is because of those guys. There are 3 of these giant snake guys, all at once. And they are so difficult. They're too quick. They're way too quick, and they can harm you when you're down. They can actually hit you when you're down, which makes them next to impossible. It makes them so difficult, but there are ways to gank them. For example, is the dragon here? Ooh, if the dragon's there, I'm going to kill it. Has the dragon landed? Ooh, I hope the dragon's landed. Damn it, it hasn't. I'm sure I can kill it from here if it has. Now, where's the snake guy? Because if I can hit him... Nope, he's gone. Shit. But where's he gone? That's the thing. Oh, he's just there. Right, let's get the little guys first. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Oh, sometimes the hitboxes on these guys are bullshit. They really are. There we are. Okay. There are 2 big guys down there now. 3! 3 of the big dudes all at once. That's just hideous. That's vile, that is. Oh, go away. Now that one with the chain is the worst of the lot. But with some luck, what you can do is knock them off. I mean, I can't even target the guy from up here. It's too far. What's he gonna do? This is considered by many to be one of the hardest points in the game, believe it or not. All because of these guys. They're next to impossible to stagger. They've got incredible range and speed. They're some of the nastiest enemies in not just this game, but any of the Dark Souls games. They really are. And now I can't hit him because, there we go. There's one. But that's just one, ladies and gents, and there are 3. Yeah. There's one. There's the other. They are phenomenally tough. So if you can, one of the best things to do, just try and avoid the fuckers. If it's possible. I don't know whether it is, but let's try it, eh? If I can just run away from them, I will. I've got no shame in that regard, ladies and gents, I can tell you. And this is the top of Archdragon Peak. And this is what's here. Now, there's something we can do here, I just can't remember what it is. And I'm too panicked to think about it right now, so if my character could actually move, you know, that would be lovely. Okay. Right, I think what I'm going to do is activate the god. I'm going to activate the boss. Simply because I think that's what we need to do. So let's have... This is tough, by the way. Hardest boss in the game. So hopefully there's going to be someone around to help me, because I'm not going to be able to do this on my own, I can tell you that. This is cool. This causes a storm to sweep in. It sort of consumes half of the mountain. The actual area changes quite a lot now. There are certain areas that become inaccessible, certain areas that open up. It's quite cool. Calling the storm. And also calling the god that rides it. Oh dear. My character doesn't like that very much, apparently. He was a little, yeah, a little put out by that. Oh, it's raining too. So there it is. That's the storm. And the only way out of this now is by killing the boss. So, even with an ally. This is friggin' tough, I'm telling you. Look, the whole area's changed. It's really cool. There's all these mists everywhere now. That's quite wonderful. Hello, what are you doing? Lots of people attempting this boss by the looks of it. Though not many offering their aid, unfortunately. Yeah, you've got to make a sort of leap of faith on this one. You've got to walk on the storm. And you can. It's entirely possible to do. I'm just waiting for an ally to turn up. That would be lovely. Ah, screw it. Let's give it an attempt, shall we? Woo! There we are. That's how you do it. You walk on the storm. And the boss is through here. Here he is. Riding his dragon. The lost son of Gwyn. Look at that. The storm god. The king of the storm, in fact. Very tough. Very tough. Gotta kill the wyvern first. Then we fight the god. The god, by the way, can pelt you with lightning. Because he's one of Gwyn's children. Of course he can. And the wyvern can also breathe lightning, so, you know. This is a bastard of a fight, it really is. It's amazing, but it's tough as old boots. Oh, he got me with his spear. Yeah, this is an incredible fight, this one. I've only ever done it once. I've only ever done it once. It's very hard. It's even harder when he comes off that bloody wyvern when the wyvern dies, because he absorbs it. You know how in Dark Souls 1 Ornstein devoured Smo's soul, or vice versa, and became more powerful? That's what happens. He absorbs the soul of his wyvern friend, and well, that makes him even worse. Makes him even nastier, even more powerful. Yep, doesn't look like there's going to be anyone around here to help, unfortunately. There rarely is. This is not the kind of area where you see a lot of people. But if you do manage to kill the god, then you get, I believe you get his spear, which is rather cool. Love these enemies. Look at the weird apparatus they're wearing around there. Mendicant staff. Ooh, that could be useful. That could be very useful, actually. Nope, doesn't look like there's going to be anyone to come and help this time round. So, let's give that another shot, shall we? Someone rolling at the fog door there. Oh, he's so cool, isn't he? Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Whoa, what's he doing? Oh, that's shit. Ah, bollocks! The head is vulnerable, though. You see how much health he took off there? If you can avoid the god's strikes and hit the head of the wyvern, You can kill the wyvern itself quite quickly. Ah, shit! Ah, shit! Ah! Okay. Okie dokes. This one's going to take some doing, I can tell. It's going to be a while, I think, this one, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna be a while. Hello, me dears, and you may have noticed that I'm recording this commentary in post, as I often do on these Dark Souls games. The reason being, I decided to have a bit of a practice, you know, just off the cuff of this boss, because he's really, really bloody hard, and I thought it might be worth just having a go with lots of lightning resistant equipment and also with an ally here. And we actually do manage to beat him, which is really, really cool. I say we is a bit of an exaggeration. I provide basically a distraction for my friend here to beat him, which is one of my favourite ways of doing this boss, to be quite honest. He is difficult. He is really hard, this boss, but he's not hard in the way that a lot of Dark Souls 2 bosses are hard, if that makes sense. You know how the Dark Souls 2 bosses are hard. Sir George as a Dragon Slayer, how perfect is that? Maybe that's why he was waiting outside of this area. St. George the Dragon Slayer, what a better place for him than here on Archdragon Peak. But this boss isn't difficult like a Dark Souls 2 boss. He has very clear patterns, very clear tells. I can see how, with practice and with a lot, and I mean a lot of dying, this boss is possible. I can see it, but bloody hell is he hard. He's wonderful, actually. I love the way, not only is he beautifully designed, he looks amazing on top of that wyvern. That went well, didn't it? Good way to start the battle with a bit of fire to the face. But also, he closes off a storyline that has been around since Dark Souls 1. This is the conclusion of a story that's been around since Dark Souls 1. So this nameless god that's referred to in the background, whose iconography you encounter all the way through Dark Souls 1, and you don't encounter him or find out who he is or what happened to him until this moment. And here he is, the nameless son of Gwyn, the Lord of the Storm. He is absolutely beautiful. He's brilliant. Much stronger than his father, which is interesting, especially in cahoots with the dragons. And with that bloody storm spear, he is a nightmare, isn't he? But can you see what I mean? When you see the way the boss works, you can actually see all the tells, all the patterns. With practice, he's a bit like Calamite from Dark Souls 1. Phenomenally tough. I mean, phenomenally tough. It looks like when you first fight him that there's no way you're going to beat him. But with practice and with a little bit of luck, it is possible. It's very, very doable. It just takes a little time, that's all. I mean, look at the animation on this guy as well. Every individual feather and hair and extrusion is moving independently. There's all this storm cloud that's been swept up by him all the time, embers that are flying off of him. He's amazing. I mean, he is phenomenally amazing. And I love the design of the wyvern with the multiple horns. I think that's just beautiful. Oh. I always feel terrible about this. I mean, you get the impression that the wyvern was the god's only friend, was his only companion, and we've just straight up murdered it. Look, that's an affectionate touch, isn't it? But before he can disperse and his soul flies off to whatever afterlife the wyverns enjoy, he takes it into himself and becomes even more powerful. Ugh. Not nice. Not nice at all. We look terrible in that outfit, we really do. I'm glad that I get the chance to change it a little bit later. Look at him! Isn't he amazing to look at? You get the impression that this guy, maybe he is sustained up here in Archdragon Peak through the revolutions and the transformations of the world. Maybe he is the only child of Gwyn that is sustained consistently. I mean, in this version of reality, most of the others have been devoured by Aldrich, you know? Priscilla, Gwyndolin, and the ones that haven't, like Guinevere. Well, of course, it's speculated that Guinevere has been transformed by Sullivan. She became the Dancer of the Boreal Valley, according to some theories anyway. And there's a lot of evidence to suggest that's the case. So it's a very tragic family history, actually, for this legacy of gods, you know, who created all of civilization in this reality. It's really sad. Oh, I'm glad I got that in. It's nice to at least have had some input in this fight, because I am not the guy to do this solo. I'm really not. I know people who can, I know people who do. I get the impression from the way Sir George is fighting here that he or she has done it many times, because they fight beautifully during this fight. They really do. They know when to back off, they know when to... Oh, fucking hell. They know when to strike, they know exactly... I thought at this point I was fucked. Even, you know, with everything going for us, I thought at this point I was done. Because really, he only needs to hit me once. At this point, he only needs to hit me once and I would have died. Even with all of my anti-lightning shit on, he would have killed me. But we manage it. We just about, by the skin of our teeth, we manage it. I say we, I mean Sir George there. But this is, it's not only one of the hardest fights in the game, it's one of my favourites. I'm looking for health items here. I'm desperately looking for anything that'll recharge my health, of realising that I don't really have it. So it's a case of just weathering the storm, as it were. And just staying away from the bastard. But yeah, he's an incredible boss. He's an absolutely stunning boss. There are harder bosses in the DLC. In the Ringed City, for example, there are some harder bosses. In the Painted World, there are harder bosses. But in the main game, this guy is it. He is just fantastic. And so, oh, he's done! Sir George got the last strike in. So that is the end. That's the end of the entire... Oh, he's put the helmet on that's the mimic. I like that. That's it. That's the end of the line of Gwyn. They're done. There are no more of them. It's the end of gods. It's the end of the scions of civilization. A new age is coming in now. And that's the end of the storm. I love the fact that in the animations, in every single animation, and this is true of all the Dark Souls games, your character doesn't switch to some generic model. They're always wearing what you're wearing, which I think is fantastic. I think that's really cool. And we end up here, in this long stretch. It's such a brilliant end to Archdragon Peak. I love it, love it, love it to tiny bits. I really do. And, as a slight bonus, I do believe our pal Sir George, as a result of a slight glitch, is hanging around for a little while still. Not for very long, I mean, there he goes. But thank you so much, Sir George, that was wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, we are going to change out of this shit, because it looks terrible. I do have a go, I mean, that's... Artorias' armour from DS1. Unfortunately, the helmet is just too big for us. It doesn't look good, I can tell you that. And his armour, whilst good, isn't as good as the Outrider armour. The armour we were wearing originally, that is just beautiful. It's brilliant. We look alright actually, but the helmet is just too tall for our head. Our eye level would be round about where the mouth veil is, so it just doesn't work. It looks silly. Yes, having a look for some decent trousers here. We don't have many. I think I decided on the Black Knight trousers in the end, which are actually really good. Not that it matters, because down this way we actually find a... oh, actually we look pretty good there. I quite like that, but I think I take the helmet off and put the Outrider helmet on because it just looks better. Okie dokes. So what we do, I believe, is go and have a little wander round. Oh, finding that bonfire after killing a boss in these games is just the best. It's just the best feeling, even if you didn't really have much to do with the death of the boss per se. Let there be chance. It looks like that there's going to be some big enemy in this area. There isn't. We're fine. It's just a big open space. This is technically the space where you fought the the Storm King, but we fought him above this area. But it does look as though something big is going to drop in here. It looks a little bit like certain spaces in DS3, this one does. The run-up to the hamlet of the undead looks just like this. Just like it. Except it's much more ruinous. Much more ruinous than this. Oh, this is Dark Souls 3, isn't it? Ignore me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking bullshit. This is what we want. The Dragon Slayer set. This is my favourite armour in the entire game, and it's armour that you'll all recognise. That's the Dragon Slayer helm. And when it says a Dragon Slayer, we know who that is, don't we? It's Ornstein. This is the armour of Ornstein, and it is absolutely spectacular. It's some of the best armour in the game. Look how good it is compared to everything else, and also comparatively very lightweight. It's just brilliant, and it looks, I mean, it's just wonderful. It looks good. It's got great defense against almost everything. It's nimble, so you can maneuver in it. Yeah, it's a bloody good suit of armor, this one. And that's it, really. There isn't much else to do on Archdragon Peak, apart from get to the summit and get the stone that's up there, which is, as we've already discussed, a complete bastard. The whole thing is a complete bastard. Although, you know, I do decide to take the long way up. Just for fun, you know. Just for fun. As a sort of victory lap, I suppose. Yeah, that's right. I mean, I hope that you weren't worshipping that god, guys, because he's dead. And there's only one dragon left. Well, wyvern, not even a full dragon. There's a wyvern left. No actual dragons, though, per se. They're done. The dragons are done, I'm afraid. I think we got rid of them in Dark Souls 2, to be honest. Certainly the biggest and nastiest of them are in that game. And the wisest amongst them. I mean, some of them were our allies, if you remember, ladies and gents. And we never did do the optional fight where you could antagonize them and get them to fight you. Betrayal. Yeah, there are no secret passages around here, despite what the lying notes and whatnot say. Yeah, this armor's brilliant. It's lightweight. It's phenomenally durable. It looks spectacular because it makes you look like Ornstein. So what is the I mean, people have theorized about the implications of this. The fact that the armor is found after you kill the son of Gwyn. Because in the original game, Ornstein is loyal to Gwyn. He's protecting Guinevere alongside Smo. And then, of course, we meet him again, presumably, or a version of him, in Dark Souls 2, where things are a little bit different, because he's in Hyde's Tower. He's in Hyde's Tower of Flame, and he's protected by a dragon. In fact, he's fighting alongside the Dragon Rider Knights. So what does that mean? What does that imply? That he left Gwyn's employ, that he left his former master perhaps? And in this version of reality, he seems to have found new employ with the son of Gwyn and alongside dragons again. Fascinating stuff, eh? Especially when you consider the fan theory that Smo is also around in this version of reality and that he becomes Aldrich. It's a very different path for these guys than they follow in the world that eventually becomes Dark Souls 1. I don't know why I'm even trying this. I think it's a bit of hubris because I have the Dragon Slayer armor. You know, if you've got the Dragon Slayer armor, you may as well fight dragons, you know? And no, I don't manage to kill it. I really don't. I mean, that gave me a little bit of protection. I mean, even with the armor, they're very hard to kill one-on-one. I mean, these guys are worse than Calamite because of the area where you fight them. You haven't got the space to fight them or to learn the moves like you do with Calamite. There is a way of doing this guy though, just like the other one. You can land on him from up there. I don't figure it out though because I'm an arse. That's what we want. We wanted to flame this entire area so he kills the rock things. That's what we want. But they're very resistant to Dragon Flame, actually. They seem to be some sort of derivation of dragons, perhaps. Like some sort of, I don't know, bastard spawn of dragons, perhaps. It's hard to say. Everything up here seems to be derived from dragons in some way. Liar! Absolute bloody liar. Try ranged battle. Yeah, we know, we know. So there's another one of those summoner creatures up here. Flinging relics and whatnot everywhere. Ooh, this is dicey. We could die so easily here. Love those guys. The summoner monsters, I think they're brilliant. Okay, yes, let's fight the naked guy in Volmir's crown again. Naked but surprisingly resistant. Well, at least to fire, not to Volmir's blade. Bye-bye! There is just something about this armor. It makes you feel powerful. It makes you feel good to wear it, which gives you confidence. You know, it gives you a lot of confidence. Yes. Now we've got lots to spend. We've got loads of souls to spend. Also, because you find loads of titanite slabs and titanite shards and all sorts up here. So I can upgrade loads of really good weapons now. Weapons that are actually perhaps a wee bit more powerful than Volmir's blade, which is not too bad, is it now? Not too bad at all. Also, the priestess, the Fire Link priestess, she has some very, very interesting new dialogue options.
If when thou peerest upon the first flame,
see?
Thou wishest yet for a world without fire, for an end to the linking of the fire, then call upon me.
Yeah, interesting, eh?
I am a firekeeper, and I tend the flame to the very end. Thou hast given me eyes, and such it was they showed me.
She's seen further than most of the other firekeepers.
Then touch the dark, take nourishment.
She's seen into the future, and she talks about worlds and realities where there are no more fires, where there is no more flame.
Ashen one, forgive me if this soundeth strange. The eyes show a world without fire. A vast stretch of darkness.
And yet...
But 'tis different to what is seen when stripped of vision. In the far distance, I sense the presence of tiny flames. Like precious embers, left to us by past lords, thinkers of the fire. Could this be what draws me to this strangely enticing darkness?
And what does that mean? I mean, is the fire inevitable?
Thy peace discover.
Is it impossible for Gwyn's fire to actually go out? It's It's hard to say. It's actually hard.
good,
Pretty. It's hard to say. Maybe when he broke the cycles of the metaphysics of this world, he made it so that the fire is inevitable. In whatever we do, maybe it can't ever be done away with completely. Lorien's greatsword is frigging amazing. It's a brilliant weapon if you can wield it, especially if you upgrade it, which is what we do, I believe, because it's Prince Lorien's massive fiery greatsword. He's absolutely stunning. Have I got the Fume Knight's blade? I think I do, but I can't wield it. It's too big. It's an absolute stunner, that blade is. I like my style of fighting in this game is very different from most other games that I would play like this. I tend to favour quick, nimble characters in most games, but this one, Dark Souls, I like big, heavy characters because it's just so much more fun. It's so much more interesting. I like the way you've got to time everything correctly. It works for me. It just works for me. I mean, really, all I'm doing here is looking through for weapons that I can upgrade, that I like the look of. And that's because we've got nearly all of them at this point. We've got nearly all of the weapons in the game. There aren't that many left to pick up. There really aren't. So, yeah, I think we go for Lorien's greatsword. And we just keep doing it until it can't be upgraded anymore. And then what else? What else? The Onyx Blade, which is also very nice. That has dark damage. That's very lovely indeed. And I think that's it. I mean, we have the means to upgrade lots of different weapons at the moment, but you just don't need to do it for everything. It's a waste of time and resources. Really, you should just go for the weapons you like. The weapons you like the look of. I haven't got any. No. Nope. Pretty. So yeah, there's that, and I don't think we can upgrade our pyromancy flame. No, I didn't think so. And we don't really have much to buy from him. So I will go wherever I like. Thank you very much, and for as long as I like. Don't you forget it. Yes, let's have a look at this this greatsword, shall we? Lorien's greatsword. It is absolutely stunning. That's the Onyx Blade. That's quite good. But it's nothing compared to Lorien's greatsword. It is nothing. The damage, the sheer damage this thing does is incalculable. It's slow and it's heavy. Look at it. It is brilliant, this weapon.
Yes.
I think this is the last one we learned from her, actually. Yeah, and now her dialogue changes slightly.
Oh, no matter. Today's lost are conquerors tomorrow.
Yeah.
It only demonstrates the makings of a champion.
Fair enough, I
And
suppose.
besides, whatever your choice, it will not change my sense of gratitude. Or how I think of you.
That's interesting. So she's aware that we have a choice to
Don't
make.
stir up any trouble.
I'll stir up whatever I like. Okie dokes, ladies and gents, that's really it for this video. We defeated the King of the Storm, we upgraded ourselves massively, and we got the Dragon Knight armor. So, when next we come back, we'll have a bit more of an explore. Until then, bye-bye!